And yes, I know there's this prisoner of the moment feel to sports these days. You know, people talk about whatever happened last night as if it was the greatest thing ever. Well, probably knowing deep down that they'll forget about it maybe a few weeks later. Yeah, I don't think that's the case with last night. That really is a game that's going to be remembered for a long, long time because that game had everything. Division rivals, prime time in December, multiple lead changes, an iconic return from the locker room, a game-winning field goal at distance in crazy wins. You know that old heavyweight fight cliche that has been absolutely beaten into the ground, buried, dug up, beaten into the ground, buried again. And it's too bad because it really is the perfect description for what went down last night. A couple of teams just standing in the middle of the ring, standing flat-footed, trading haymakers like some Rocky and Apollo Creed. Bleep. I mean, no defense, no lateral movement, nobody looking to slip any punches, just a couple of heavyweights standing flat-footed in the center of the ring looking to land a kill shot. And you could tell it from the very jump, from the very first drive. The Browns went 81 yards in 11 plays. It was a Kevin Stefanski special, mixing the run and the pass, throwing in a wide receiver pass, and then closing it out with Nick Chubb, finishing it off with a TD run.
Handoff, Chubb breaks a tackle over the center of the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb, a 7-yard touchdown run.
And leave it up to Nick Chubb to find a hole, put your foot in the ground, puts his left foot in the ground, runs through a tackle, runs over another tackle on his way to the end zone.
Westwood won. That drive was a clinic on why Stefanski is awesome, and the team is awesome. But Baltimore responded. And they did it in a way that they had to do it, with Lamar Jackson finally looking again like Lamar Jackson. The reigning MVP was in the building last night. That was the old Lamar Jackson, spreading the ball around in the air and absolutely carving the defense on the ground. You could tell in the very first plays that the MVP was in the house. Like, Baker Mayfield was not the only dude who woke up feeling dangerous. Watching Lamar, I thought, damn. Dude looks spry. Then I thought, bleep spry. My man is flat out explosive tonight. This dude is wrecking shop. He's playing with an unbelievable sense of urgency, except those plays when he was on roller skates. But other than that, his quicks were back. I mean, like Mike Vick quick. And you knew when they got him another pair of cleats, the Browns defense was going to be in for a long night. Any defense would be in for a long night when Lamar Jackson is out there doing things like this.
Shotgun snap is belt high. Fake handoff and a run by Jackson over the guard. Into the end zone. Slicing his way for a Baltimore touchdown. Wow, he got skinny as he got to the 3 and worked right along the hash mark, right into the middle of the end zone and a 5-yard touchdown run.
Lamar Jackson's already skinny. I don't think he has to get skinny.
Like I said, the reigning MVP was in the house, and he was getting nice. He chased that with his second, or in the second quarter with this.
1st and 10, got the shotgun snap, moves up in the pocket, looks left. No, now he runs from the 20, inside the numbers, the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown! Jackson does it again! Sprinting this time, flag is down. He just ran that baby in.
Huge turn of events.
Huge turn of events, and then the Tecmo Bowl moves in the third quarter.
Shotgun snap, fakes the handoff, runs it himself over the tackle, the 40. On the numbers, the 45 to the near sideline, the 50. A foot race to the 40. They're chasing him on the numbers to the 30. Breaks the tackle there. Stiff runs his way to the 25. Runs to the middle of the field, the 20. And down to the Cleveland 19. He cannot be stopped. Electrifying Lamar Jackson. A burst of 44.
Electrifying is right. I mean, that's the Lamar Jackson that we know, we love, we fear. That's the guy who was the best player in the league last year. That's the guy who hasn't quite been around at times this year. Like, it doesn't matter who you were rooting for. It was good to have that guy back because, damn, he was electric. He was explosive. All right, so maybe explosive is not the right word. Or maybe it is the right word. Anyway, because just like that, he was gone. Just like that, he was gone. He was dominating. And then he goes back to the locker room to deal with cramps, allegedly. I mean, when they first dropped that report that he was dealing with cramps, my first thought was, cramps? In December? In that cold? What? Anyway, hold that thought. I'll get into all the conspiracy theories in a moment. But while he was dealing with whatever it was he was dealing with, the Browns went to work. They came back from a tough interception from Baker Mayfield, his first in what seemed like forever. It left them with their backs up against the wall, down 14 going into the fourth quarter. But they came out swinging and landing. Touchdown to Hollywood Higgins, a 2-point conversion. You know, a lot of people were shaking their heads like, wait, what are they doing? Analytics, yo. Analytics. Then they followed this by Mayfield.
Shotgun snap, backpedaling 3, cocks his arm, pump fakes, flush from the pocket, running to the far side, the 10, race to the 5, into the end zone, touchdown Mayfield, touchdown Cleveland Browns. They have come back to tie at 34 with the extra point coming up in 6.
But how about that? They come all the way back. They tie that game. The run was great. The slide was even better. A huge moment, not just in that game, but in the season, because it drove home the point. This Browns team is different. This Browns team is not going away. This Browns team is not going to melt down. They're not going to be happy with the good effort. They're not happy with the good job, good effort. Man, they're going to grind. They're going to battle. They've got heart. They've got grit. And it looked like they were going to rip this thing because they had all the mo at their back and they had Lamar Jackson in the locker room. Then, on the next series, the Cleveland defense had Baltimore in a 3rd and 10. But backup Trace McSorley hit Willie Snead for 13 yards to keep that drive alive. Man, that was clutch. Clutch as hell for McSorley to come off the bench, ice cold, late in the 4th, in a game with their season possibly hanging in the balance, and this guy converts. But then, on 3rd and 2, from the Cleveland 41, this happened.
Runs it himself, cuts right, slips on the grass, down he goes. Myles Garrett runs and puts his big body on McSorley, who is down. McSorley is injured, holding on to his left knee. So he is injured and holding on to his knee.
4th and 5, game on the line. Season probably on the line. And here comes Lamar. And Lamar goes legend.
Shotgun snap, 4th and 5, runs out of the pocket, past the hash mark on the numbers, downfield throws, it's caught at the 20, wide open is Brown, he goes from the 10 to the 5, it's a touchdown! Baltimore comes right back, and they get the touchdown pass of 44 yards!
Wow!
Oh my goodness!
You're right, you can't make this stuff up.
This is just amazing!
I mean, are you kidding me? If that game ended right there, that would have been incredible. It would have been unbelievable, but it didn't because the Browns did come flying right back. Baker to DPJ, Baker to Jarvis Landry, Baker to Kareem Hunt, Baker to Hunt one more time.
Clock is at 1:10. Mayfield 319 yards. Shotgun snap, line drive throw, backpedaling catch, Hunt 15, breaks a tackle 10, to the 5, to the pylon, touchdown! Cleveland has scored! Cleveland has scored! Trailing by 1 with 1:04 to go on a 22-yard touchdown. Catch and run. Kareem Hunt scores.
Clutch as hell. Brass as hell. And for any of you dopes thinking that the Browns were not ready for prime time, that all they did was get fat on cupcakes, you can shut the hell up right about now because that drive was brass as hell. In fact, the only thing bad about that drive, and you had to know it right when it happened, is that they actually scored too quickly. If you're a Browns fan, you had to be thinking, oh, man, that was so awesome, but they scored too quickly. They left too much time on the clock for Lamar Jackson. There was no way Jackson was going to let Baltimore lose last night. Nobody and no one thing was going to keep Lamar down last night. Not explosive diarrhea, devastating cramps, or anything else. Man, this guy was possessed. This dude just was not going to be denied. This dude was not going to let his team lose or his season potentially end. 4 quick passes, a spike, and then this.
It'll be a 55-yard try for the lead. On the grass with wind. Ball put down, right-footed kick is up, arching up, end over end, and it is good! 2 seconds remain. 55-yard field goal by Justin Tucker.
Justin Tucker, man, this dude is unconscious. He is ice cold. So clutch, so impressive, especially when you consider the crazy wind that was whipping around. And the fact that Baltimore absolutely had to have that. They beat the Cowboys last week, right? I said I was not impressed because they only beat the Cowboys. Now they have beaten a good team on the road when their star quarterback was dealing with, I don't know, whatever he was dealing with. I'm impressed. I'm hella impressed. I cannot say enough about Lamar Jackson. I mean, for 3 quarters, his offensive line was struggling. His receivers were struggling. So he put up a new Monday Night Football quarterback rushing record with 124 yards and 2 TDs. And he missed a big chunk of the game, and then he came back and he threw for more yards in the final 2 minutes than he did in the previous 58. Like I said, with their season on the line, the MVP was back in the house last night. However, if you're looking to come in here and bury the Browns, don't. Man, you can take that crap someplace else. Hell yes, this is a team that is way beyond moral victories, but that was still a strong night for the Browns. I mean, losing the game sucks, no doubt. It was the ultimate kick in the junk and blast in the package. It was brutal. But they underlined yet again, they're legit. They didn't play their best game. Not at all. They ate some serious punches. They kept fighting their asses off. They kept getting up off the mat. Just know, they're not about the moral victory. You know they're pissed, and they should be. They should be 10-3 this morning. They should be, they could be. If they make a play, they get the hell off the field defensively. They are 10-3 this morning. And how different would the world look at 10-3? They should be, but they're not because, well, Lamar Jackson. Like, I'm not sure anyone or anything was beating Lamar Jackson last night. Not the Browns, not debilitating cramps, not explosive diarrhea, not anything, whatever it was. Speaking of the runs, like I've always said that explosive diarrhea is the great equalizer.
Diarrhea.
Even when I denied saying it because I forgot that I said it.
Diarrhea.
All right, so I said it.
Great equalizer.
I said it and I believed it, and I thought it was undefeated. Come to find out, it's not, allegedly. Come to find out, you know what the great equalizer is? Freaking Lamar Jackson. Because this dude was absolutely incredible last night. Playing like he did with whatever it was he was dealing with. Man, what a game. Great, great game. 1-800-636-8686 is your telephone number. Let me get you some quick reaction. At Hitman Canadian, quote, the Browns team is different. They only lose by single digits now. Hashtag losers. That's a pretty idiotic tweet. Dear Rome, I can't believe that the Ravens ripped that game last night. Browns fans must be torn up. They had that win in the bag. That game was nuts. Regards, Art Modell. Francis in Glendale wore Rich Flores using Dippin' Dots as light bright pegs. Here, Rome, best game of the year last night. Incredible how much the Browns tried to flush Lamar out of the pocket. However, Lamar had no trouble wiping away would-be tacklers. The Ravens are now one step away from getting back into Super Bowl contention. Fitting symbolism that the game ended with a deuce in the Ravens' favor. War Lamar beating the great equalizer, Damasio. Yeah, I'm not doing that for 3 hours. Just know that. I mean, I'll get into the conspiracy theory, and I'll get into it because it was a thing, because Lamar had to deny it in the press conference. But we're not doing that for 3 hours. As much as you kindergartners would love to, we're not going to.